Before getting things done, the trend in task management systems was to use a prioritization method called the ABC method. Now what this meant was that your A tasks were must-dos, your B tasks were should-dos, and your C tasks were your could-dos. What this translated as is your A tasks had to be done. No matter what, they had to be done that day. If you had to work through the night, you did them because they must be done. Your should-do tasks were the tasks that you did if you had time. There was not that sense of urgency that they had to be done that day, but they did need to be done at some point in the near future. And then we had the could-do tasks. Now the could-do tasks were actually context-based. If I was going to the hardware store, I could also go to the pharmacy, I could possibly call into the bank because I was in that location. So it was location-based, or it was tool-based, or it was some other physical or actually person object as well. So if I was meeting with a colleague of mine that I don't normally meet, it would be a C task that, oh yeah, I must talk to Sarah about whatever. Okay, so that was the context base. What David Allen did in Getting Things Done was not reinvent something new. Context-based task management had been around for a while, but it wasn't elevated to the level that it was in Getting Things Done. Most task managers, such as the one that was advocated by Charles Hobbs in Time Power, and the one that was advocated in the Franklin Planner by Hiram Smith, and it was also advocated in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now the great thing about the ABC method was it forced you to make decisions about what you will do each day. Today, what I'm noticing in most people's task managers is they're just long lists of stuff that never seem to get done. And that causes a problem, because if there's stuff in there that you just look at and ignore because there's no sense of urgency, you've not prioritized, your lists are just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger until it gets to the point where you just never want to look at your task manager again. That then stops you from doing the weekly planning, it even stops you from doing a daily planning, and you're back to where you were before you decided that you wanted to use some form of task management system. Hi, it's Carl. I just want to let you know that if you are struggling with your productivity or time management, then I have a free course, and I mean completely free, course based around the absolute fundamental basics of productivity and time management whilst using digital tools, or indeed paper. The course is called COD, or Collect, Organize and Do. And if you really want to start the process of getting yourself organized, or even if you've already been trying for many, many years to find the right system, then it's all going to start with COD, Collecting, Organizing and Doing. And there's a link in the show notes below. Take the course. It's not going to cost you anything, and I'm sure that it's going to help you to start building the processes and the structure and the system that you need in order to become better organized and more productive. Thanks for watching this brief video. So what can we do to overcome this problem so that we are much more focused on the day and we are moving the ball forward on the important things? Well, the first thing we can do is to resurrect the ABC method. Now, the way to do this is to look at how the ABC works. Now, as I mentioned, the A tasks are the absolute must be done today. These are non-negotiable. You must do them today. Even if you have to pull an all-nighter, you've still got to do those tasks unless you make a decision or for whatever reason you cannot complete it, and then you delegate it or sort of demote it to a should do tasks. Now your should do tasks are the B tasks. These are the ones that, well, if I get time, I really should make a start on these. And finally the C tasks, which are the context-based ones, which was the ones that, oh, by the way, I'm going up, taking my dog for a walk, I'm passing the pharmacy, so I'll call in and get my wife's prescription, for example. But it's actually really easy to do this now in the digital world. So if you're a Todoist user, for example, Todoist gives you 4 flags, although the 4th flag is not really a flag. So we've got P1, P2, P3. It's priority 1, priority 2, priority 3. And it's color-coded red, orange and blue. So when you plan the day, when you're looking at the tasks in your task manager, if you're looking at them in Todoist, you would flag the tasks that absolutely must be done today. The thing is, we need to be a little bit careful here, because if you assign 5 tasks to your must-dos, and you've got 6 or 7 hours of meetings, then something's not going to happen. Some of those 5 things are not going to happen unless they're really, really, really simple, quick tasks to do. So the way to do this is to limit the number of must-dos that you have. Now, personally, I limit mine to 2. Occasionally, I might have 3, but that's very rare. 2, I know that 100% of the time I can get done. 3, it's pushing it down to about 95%. If I do 5 must-do tasks, there's no way I can do them all, because there's just too much that could happen in the day, too many unknowns. I am much more comfortable saying, okay, what are my 2 must-do tasks? This, for those of you familiar with my systems, knows that this comes from the 2+8 prioritization method. Now, the second one, the B task, these are the should do's. Now, those are for all the things that if I get time, I will do. Now, responding to my email every day, I tend to think of it as a must do, but it's actually a should do. It doesn't matter if I don't get time to respond to all my emails today. As long as I give it a go and get a few of them done, and I'm doing a little bit every day, backlogs are not really building up. And what about the C tasks? These are the could do's. Well, I do always have a lot of those, because every day I take my dog for a walk. Sometimes we walk locally. Sometimes I'll drive him to the park and we'll go there. So going to the park means that, hang on a minute, I'm going past the pharmacy, or I'm going past the grocery store. I can stop and pick up something while I'm there. So I need to be aware of what my could do's are. But getting back into this system, Apple Reminders, for example, if you go into the tasks, you'll notice that you also have this prioritization method, 1, 2, 3, I think, and no priority. Now, in Apple Reminders, this is great, because you can use those priorities to create lists called today's must-dos, today's should-dos, and today's could-dos. So you can separate them out, so you can really focus in on what needs to be done today. Of course, you would start the day with your must-dos, then go to your should-dos, and then go to your could-dos. So digitally, it's absolutely simple to be able to create these systems. And it also helps you to, well, it means that you have to plan the day, which is a critical part of doing time management to the best of your ability, is having some idea about what you want to get accomplished that day. Now, that's going to be based on how many meetings you've got, how many other things that you should be working on or doing that day, but it's important that you know what needs to be done today. As long as you get all your must-do tasks done, i.e. your A tasks or your top priority tasks, you've had a productive day. I would never ever be upset if I didn't complete my should-dos or could-dos, because they are kind of the if I have time tasks. As long as I get my must-dos every day, that means I'm being productive. One of my must-dos today is to record this video, which I'm doing. Another one is to take my dog for a walk. It doesn't have to be professional. We can do that. So one thing I want you to look at is, rather than trying to squeeze things into context and then having these long, overwhelming lists of stuff that you can do in the office, or stuff that you can do with high energy, stuff that you may need to do with low energy, if you're not looking at those lists, they're not working for you. So perhaps a better way to do it is to start going back to that ABC method, where A task must be done, B task should be done, and C tasks could be done. Thanks for watching this video, and if you want to learn more about my current experiment with the Franklin Planner, then this video up here is the next one to watch.